Hey guys, so here's our pin. We have a few of those little Winnie the Pooh strawberry pins, and they're 3D pins. If you can see, they're like little 3D pins. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make this one today. It's so sweet. This is just such a sweet, pin and design. And I think this is gonna be a fun craft. So the paper we're using today is, I want to say this was called Berry Blessings. I want to say was the name of the paper. This is the wrong name. And it had all these different berries on it. And, you know, it has blueberries. It has these great gingham and check. And and raspberries, blackberries. It's just fantastic paper. I love this paper. I've done a ton of stuff with it. I happened to get this pack from someone else, and that allowed me to make these Winnie the Pooh crafts for us today. So I cut out a 5x7 of white and a 5x7 of our designer series paper, this one with the strawberries. The back side of it's really pretty too. It has these fun little strawberry seeds. So we're going to be using this one for Winnie the Pooh, and we're going to go ahead and glue this down. I'm just going to tack it down. I don't need to go too extensively with the glue because this cardstock is just to kind of hold it in place, make sure that it's nice, and it's just to hold this little piece in place and keep it firm because the paper is kind of the designer series paper is so thin, you know, it's a regular weight of paper as opposed to the cardstock, which is nice and thick. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down and give it like a nice little firm stiffness. And then I cut out, this is a 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 piece of Poppy Parade. And this is the gingham side of the blueberry and the berries. And this is 3 inches by 5 inches. And so that's the basic layer we're going to use. And let's go ahead and glue this layer together. I'm making a 5x7, but we're not putting this in a shadow box this time. We're putting it in some other frames that I have, which I think is kind of neat. So I had these other 5x7 frames and I thought I should try this. And I think the width is actually going to be really good for our particular craft. Okay, so I'm going to actually pop this up on Dimensionals because I want things to be nice and 3D. I don't really want it flat. I think I want it lifted up. So I'm taking my, this is the adhesive back sheets of adhesive foam. It's craft foam basically. And I'm going to use this instead of Dimensionals just because it's a little bit faster and a little less wasteful than the Dimensionals on such a large piece. So we'll go ahead and we'll pop this on the back here. And again, you can use your Dimensionals if that's all you have. You can always buy these foam adhesive sheets at fabulousstamper.com as well as the Dimensionals. I like the idea of just popping this up, making it a little more dimensional. Just adds a little some. Okay. And we're going to be centering that right on top of there. So let's get that centered. Whoops. Okay. I'm having a little trouble. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered because it will go in the frame, and sometimes the frame will hide aspects that are not perfectly centered. But I want to try and get it as centered as I can. This is part of hand making, you know. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so we've got our basic layer. So now the hardest part is we're going to be doing a lot of stamping on this craft. So what I did was I have a strawberry punch. If I didn't already put it on the screen, I don't carry retired products, but some of my friends do, and they might actually have some of these products retired that you could buy from them. This is the strawberry punch, strawberry builder punch that we used to sell, but we don't anymore. And we're using sweet strawberry stamp set, which again is this really fun, pretty stamp set. It just makes really gorgeous stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stamp some leaves, which I'm going to put. Now I put these in strips because it's going to be easier to push through the punch that way. So I'm going to take, this is garden green. This one's granny apple green. So I'm going to take my leaf, and so the stamp set has these great little filler colors, and then of course the outlines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the filler color and then the ribbed outline on top, and then I'll punch it out with the punch builder. And so I'm going to go ahead, and I see that if I do it this way, if I stamp a couple leaves right here, it'll allow me to punch a little strip right through, no problem. One. And you see it already has, see all that blotchiness? It's intentional. It's not blotchy. It's the texture of the leaf. And we'll just do 3. Just in case any of them get mixed up or any of them get a little weird. And then, you know, we might use them on a later project too. So we're done with granny apple green. And then we'll take our garden green and we're going to stamp over the top of it. I find that if I approach from the bottom and kind of hover over the top, I can usually get everything aligned pretty well. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. That looks really good. And you just want to try and align your leaf. Oh, that one's a little bit off, but that's okay. It's still good enough. There we go. So this one's a little bit outside of the border, but honestly, I probably would still use it. I'll be honest. I probably wouldn't ditch it because it still looks pretty good. That's part of hand stamping, you know. That's part of what happens when you have a handmade craft, is you have those little delicate parts of it that are a little off, you know. So then we're going to punch out our leaves. And because I allowed room, because I created it in a strip, I can slide it right through the punch. Now there will be little bits that are going to come off, but as a whole, I can get it pretty centered and just punch my leaves right out. And last one. I don't know how many leaves we're going to need, but at least 3. We'll have 3 just in case. All right, so we got our leaves, and we're going to repeat the same process that we just did with the leaves, but we're going to do it with strawberries and with flowers and, you know, everything else under the sun. And we do the garden green. We wanted a dark green for the, you know, the tops of the strawberry, but I want, the outline needs to be a little bit darker. So I'm using Mossy Meadow. It's very subtle, you know, but it does give a defined look to it. We're gonna punch it, slide it in. Oops. And punch. I'm going to be wasting a little bit of paper here. I know some people manage to punch multiple images at one time. I have not been very successful at being able to do that. There are a couple different tricks you can try to do so you don't waste so much paper. It's just tricky. But because I only need a few strawberry stems and a few strawberries, I'm not doing, if I was doing this in a large quantity, I might change up the way I do it. But because I'm just doing a few, I'm okay with it. Now we need to do the same thing for our flower. I've got a little flower, and I'm actually just going to stamp with yellow in the flower. This is Lemon Lolly. Again, you can get all these colors from fabulousstamper.com and click shop with me. I'm going to do a couple flowers, maybe more than a couple. And I'm just stamping it with Lemon Lolly because I didn't really want, you know, strawberry flowers tend to be really quaint and white. I find them to be white. I'm sure there's other colors, but I always thought they were white. But they might have other colors associated with them. Our paper has a lot of different colors for them. And I think that's also abstract, but oh, that one I cut off. See, this is what happens sometimes if you're not spacing your stamps apart just right. So I have to, so I guess I stamped 4 for a reason. I'm just gonna punch all these out. Let's see, will it punch? And oh, we have one more. You could also use like maybe a light pink. I just like the yellow. I just like that little contrast of yellow against the orange, or not orange, the pink and red. Now let's get another scrap of paper. So let's do a couple strawberries. So let's do a couple red strawberries. And we'll stamp those. Okay, we'll do this one here. I don't know if I'll be able to do another one. I think it'll get cut out. And we'll put the outline over the top. These are called distinctive stamps. And it means that the stamp already has a lot of texture on it so that it gives all that nice shading. Let me grab another strip. Will this fit a strawberry? Yeah, well, okay. So let's go ahead and do one more here. And we'll do one on the outer edge here. Just doing things in threes just so I have plenty of strawberries for our project. Oh, that's a little out of the lines. It's not too bad though. I think I could cover it up like maybe a flower right there or something. Oh, I did it again. Let's do it one more time. Let's flip it over. I think I need to be just a little more careful when I'm stamping. Oh, and this one left a little patchiness, but it's okay. So let's approach it up. Okay, that's good. That one's off. It's not bad, but it is a little off. Okay, so we got those strawberries, which we can punch out. And then I also want to do a pink strawberry. Like I said, a lot of wasted paper, unfortunately. Like I said, I know some people that are able to get these perfectly centered, and I don't know. I just have a hard time with getting it centered where I can punch the bill. You know, they make it compact by having the one punch for all the pieces, but it also can be a little problematic. So, and then we'll slide this one in place. All right, there we go. Now we'll make some pink strawberries. We'll go ahead and we'll do this first. We'll place him and then see how we do. So I always put like a little glue dot on the back to just hold my pin in place because he can move around. I think I want him centered. I don't know if I want him right on the bottom. No, I want him centered in the middle. And so I just take a little glue dot and I put it on the back here. I'll probably put another one. These are archival safe, so they're not going to harm your pin. We'll just pop those in. Let's get him centered in the middle because I think building the strawberries around him is going to be the key. Let's get our centering ruler. It's not a perfect tool, especially on a 3D object like this, but it is helpful in trying to help you gauge that little middle. All right, I'm gonna push him straight down in. I actually think I'm gonna put, do I want him a little further up? Yeah, I think I do. Let's put some dimensionals underneath them. So I had those glue dots under there, but let's go ahead and pop a couple dimensionals underneath. I'm gonna lift him up. Okay, so the glue dots did their job. They are working, but they did rip a little bit of the paper. I'm gonna put a couple dimensionals underneath because I think tucking all these little berries and stuff underneath them is going to look great. It's just, we also want to make sure, there we go. But that also, having him a little lifted up allows us to tuck those berries underneath a little more easily. So let's put one there, one here, one of the leaves. Right there. And these can be popped up. And we'll put a leaf right here, I think. Yeah, I think we need a couple more berries. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp a few more berries and then come back. Okay, so we've got our pin coming out the back here. So we gotta keep him up. And then we're just gonna glue our strawberries that I punched. And we're gonna just glue the stems on and then see about layering them, popping a few dimensionals. I think having some of them flat and some of them up is gonna make them just that much more dynamic in the design. Okay, that one has a little too much glue on it. And there was one more over here, I think, that didn't have a stem. Yeah. There we go. All right, so this one has some patchiness. So this one I would want to have tucked in the back there and then have a nicer one up here in the front. And see, this one could be 3D here. And then we can, I like this really nice one. Let's see, let's put a really good one right here. And then, I don't know if we need this leaf, but we can tuck the leaves behind. I'm not really feeling the leaves too much. I don't know. Maybe over here. Oops, this one and the glue got a little stuck already. We could add that right there. And this one we could tuck behind here too. You don't want them to be identical on each side. So, you know, it's like trying to find the balance. And then I definitely want to put some flowers. I always like odd numbers. I always like things in odd numbers. Oh, that's kind of nice. I kind of like that pile there. You can tuck that underneath, and then a flower. Maybe not. What if we had this one going this way? Or how about this one going? Oh, now it's like matchy-matchy. Let's put this one up like that. And then, you know, we could also have one just kind of peeking out from the back here. Or maybe I'll put a leaf back there. And we can put one here. And then one on top right here. Okay, I think I like that. Because this one will be on top, so it'll kind of cover up this other one. But this one will be tucked. And so all we're doing is just arranging like you would with flowers. And then we'll see about maybe some little other, we have these little flowers we can add, but I might actually have better flowers to add. Okay, let's just get these gluing. So I think one will be flat. We'll put that one down flat. And then we'll just let its little stem stick out. This one we'll put on dimensionals, but still allow the stem to kind of tuck underneath. And so we'll put a little glue dot. All right. Oops, I gotta take off the... like that. And this one, we'll tuck it, I think tucking it right there. So I'm going to put a little dimensional on the back of this one. And we're just layering our pieces in. That one is flat technically. And so these ones are just getting layered in to add a lot of dimension around him. And so let's go ahead and glue that one where it was. And we'll glue that one flat. I always like things in odd numbers, so. And then we'll put this one down here flat as well. Like that. I don't want it to be too identical to this one over here. And then this one can be 3D. Yeah. And then this little leaf, we can tuck this here or here. This one I'll make flat. That one I had 3D, so this one I'll have as flat. And then we have these little flowers that can be 3D as well. So let's put some, actually this yellow picks up on Winnie the Pooh quite nicely. There's one there. We'll do one, let's do one back here, but 3D. Okay. I think one tucked right here is good. Okay, and then I think we need some more embellishments. It needs just a little more zhuzh before I put it in the frame. It just needs a little something. It's just missing a little something. So let's see what we can find. Okay, I found a couple things. So I have these little ladybugs that we sell. Again, you can find these at fabulousstamper.com if you're interested in these little. Let me see if a little ladybug looks good. They're kind of stuck. They're 3D, but they're like a flat 3D. Let's see if a ladybug looks good. Let's try it. That looks pretty darling. I think yes to the ladybug. We'll see about adding another one. But what I do want to add is I have these muted palette dots, and I think, oops, I want to put one on each flower for this stem center. I think that looks good. Just adds a little something. Just a little something to the center. There we go. And I think just the one ladybug is enough. I think more than one ladybug is going to be too much. I actually think we're done, surprisingly. So let's get our frame. What I like is that it's wooden, and so it has a nice quality to it. That single ladybug is adorable. Let me get a piece of cardboard. So I tend to cannibalize the cardboard in my apartment, and I'm just gonna cut a piece, not an actual 5x7. I feel like when I'm do this, you need a piece that's gonna go across the whole base of your frame, because if you don't, then it bends the frame. It bends the little frame out. So let's try it and let's see. Oh my gosh, that looks so darling. It looks better than I even expected. You guys. Let me get it in. It's not in. Okay, there we go. Okay, and so, okay, see, I'm having a problem. It's like bulging a little, so let's go ahead and see what we can do. Let's try a smaller piece and see if that helps. This larger piece doesn't seem to help, so let's try this small piece and see if that is, if it's small enough that it might not bend all the paper. We have to protect that little pin, you know, so. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think that's good. it might need, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back inside the frame. And it's just to help stabilize the piece. And that also adds a little thickness, helps keep our, it was a little loose. There we go. Oh my word. Look at how cute he is. I mean, look at that. Isn't that darling? Wouldn't this be cute on someone's desk at work? So I added the little ladybug. I'll zoom in. And again, we sell these at fabulousstamper.com. And then the matte muted palette embellishments, I'm not sure if we still sell those or not, but we did have them. It's this is, I think this might be Lemon Lolly, or no, it's the current color that we have right now, which is not Lemon Lolly. It's another color and I can't think of the name of it. It's it'll be retire next year. And see what I mean about how the edges, like if it's a little crooked, you can adjust, especially if this you got this a little off. You can adjust it and move it around a little so that it can you can make it even. And then you can even add glue dots inside if you needed, so it stayed just right. Oh my word, that is darling. That is just darling. Well, thanks for tuning in, you guys. I mean, it's just so darling. It's just so cute. I can't even get enough. I almost want to keep it. It's so cute. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this craft and feel inspired to go make your own. And you have a great day. All right, thanks. Bye.